Hey y'all, always good to see you here on the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic today. Look what we got going on in the kitchen today. So I found these fresh green boiled peanut, or not boiled peanuts, they will be boiled peanuts. Found these at the grocery store yesterday while I was shopping around. So I went ahead, put them in the crock pot. This will give us a weekend snack, and I absolutely love boiled peanuts. So what I did here was take about a cup, well actually exactly 1 cup of salt, and this is a 1/4 bushel. I used about half of that in this big old crock pot, and just filled it up with water, added my salt, and I salt it to taste. Really, dude? Every single time. He's left me alone the whole morning. I turned the camera on and he starts attacking my leg. What was I saying? There was an old timer who sold boiled peanuts on the side of the road, and asked him for the recipe one time, and he said he didn't really have a recipe of how much salt to water to add. He said, "You ever been swimming in the ocean?" I said, "Well, sure." He said, "Well, get the water to where it tastes like salt water. And if you have been swimming in the ocean, you more than likely tasted that salty water." So that's what I do. I just add salt to taste to get it to where it tastes kind of like ocean water. And then we'll cook them all day, let them sit overnight and absorb that water, and then they'll be ready to go. Dude, really? You need to get your own YouTube channel, because you're really getting on my nerves. And you need attention so badly anytime I get the camera out, and this is what we have to do. Ow! He is hyped up today. So what I want to do today, we're going to go walk around the yard a little bit. It's an absolutely beautiful day outside today. We're going to go walk around the yard a little bit because I've got a friend of mine who I sell mulch to, and he's got a mulch blowing truck. And so all these beds that we have around here, most of them are mulched. They need remulching, and then we've got some beds that don't have any mulch at all. End of next week, he's going to come down with his mulch truck, and we're going to bring the mulch down, load it into the truck. He's got a big old pipe, and he's going to blow these beds for us. So that's going to be super cool. Should be a really neat video to make, as well as it's just going to save us a tremendous amount of time of bringing it down, scooping it out. His guys just go through and just blow it in the beds. It's going to be awesome. But we got to walk around and see what kind of work we've got to do before next week. Unfortunately, Luis is on vacation this week. We've got a ton to do. It's making it hard to breathe right now just thinking about everything that we've got going on. And now my main guy, Luis, is on vacation. We'll get it done some kind of way, and we'll just do the best that we can. But I'm going to go put my boots on, and let's go walk around the yard. Hey, Pepe, can I have my foot back so I can put my boots on, please? Pretty please. Dude, quit. Let go. Man, what a beautiful day it is out here today. So we had the hurricane roll through 2 days ago. Wasn't anything bad. A little bit of wind, a few limbs down, but nothing near as bad as the flooding they had in some of the coastal areas. So I hope everybody's doing okay down there in the problem spots, but for us it wasn't bad at all. Matter of fact, we only got right at a little over 2 inches of rain. So I'm sure that the grass loved it. Man, look how pretty and green it is. Just a few little limbs down there. Looks like we've got to go and clean up. But let's just go see how involved this mulch project is going to be. Daggone, look at this grass, you guys. Wow. Yeah, it definitely needed that 2 inches of rain. It's so beautiful and lush and green. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty proud of that. So this is about the extent of what I was talking about with the storm. Nothing crazy, just a few little limbs that fell down. I reckon let's go ahead and we'll kind of start over here in this bed. Throw those sticks down yonder. This one definitely needs remulching, and I'm gonna try to be calculating how many yards I need to as we're walking around, just guesstimate it. gonna be a pretty big project. I hope that fella realizes how much I'm wanting to mulch. Instead of him showing up and thinking it's just a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and do a lot because we make the mulch here on the property, so it'll be real easy to get the material down here and take advantage of his services while he's right here. So in this bed, you can see we've got a Carolina Sapphire cypress down at the end. I got some tea olives, a few azaleas, a little Japanese maple. Got this variegated Wagila here, but it's got some leaf burn. That could due to the fact that our irrigation was screwed up here not too long ago, and these beds weren't getting irrigated properly when we had the crazy hot temperatures. But some nice azaleas. We've got some spirea, camellia. We're gonna come in here and just have him blow in some cherry brown mulch all through there. Get our lines reestablished along the grass. I think it'll look a whole lot better. Then the center bed over here, we've got just a kind of a conglomeration of plants in here. And something, oh, you know what we gotta do today, guys, when we go to the nursery? We're gonna go ahead and get us some of the Espoma Hollytone, the big bags, and we're gonna fertilize the plants that are gonna bloom this fall, like our camellias, and then other plants like hollies, evergreens. We don't wanna give the azaleas any food just right now because we don't wanna encourage any new growth on some plants because we do have frost that'll be coming in the next few months, and that tender growth could get burnt. So we don't wanna promote any new growth on some of these plants. But the camellias, hollies, the plants that will be doing stuff in the fall and winter, they do need food. So we're gonna grab some of that Hollytone down at the nursery, as well as let's go ahead and get us a couple of bags of land and seed compost to put up there in our raised bed. Don't let me forget. We've got a little weeping Yopon holly right here on the corner. Nice pretty dogwood right there. Tons of different azaleas, buddleias. I just kind of really hodgepodge these beds. I just wanted a lot of different stuff going on from different times of the year. But it's a beautiful bed in the center here. This is where my faithful golden retriever Bella, her final resting place. She's been gone for a few years now. She was such a cool dog, man. Just one of the prettiest Goldens that I've ever had. They are my favorite breed. I don't have any dogs right now, and honestly, I don't. I want one, but I don't want one. You know what I mean? My grandfather always said, "There ain't no profit in dogs or youngins," and that is the truth. And I don't need any more responsibility in my life right now. All right, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get back to this bed. So this is the center bed. We're gonna mulch the heck out of it. Not gonna put any down in the aquatic section, but while we're walking down here and we're so close, look at this red stem thalia. This is the one I did a video on not too long ago over at our sand mine. I'm hoping I haven't made a mistake of putting it down here in this bog area because it's kind of going nuts. It's taken over. We've got some beautiful aquatic plants down in here, a bunch of frog bit, some water lettuce growing down in there, and then this is a native. I didn't plant this. We'll have to look this guy up, see what he is. If any of y'all know, leave a comment down below. So I'm not sure, but real pretty purple flowers. But this red stem thalia is a cool looking plant, but again, looks like it might be going crazy a little bit, don't it, y'all? It's even popping up over here by this tree. And the hurricane knocked this old limb down on top of our canna lily here, didn't it? Get him pulled off. Have to come down and get that later. We got so much to do, you guys. And there's another red stem thalia right on the water's edge there. That's beautiful though. I just hope it don't take over. We've got some other aquatic plants down here that I meant to plant along the water's edge. Some variegated sweet flag, some horsetail, See how easy I get sidetracked? I see different plants and I just gravitate right towards them. Focus, Ryan. Okay, so this will be the third bed in the front yard. This is a pretty small one. Again, just the same type material, spirea azaleas. This one does have a distilium. The word wouldn't come to me. We do have a distilium down here at this end. This one's mainly just azaleas. Oh, look at this. We do have a beautiful oak leaf hydrangea in this bed. This one had some really nice white panicle flowers a few weeks back. But look at the fall color already starting to come in. This one's really underrated, in my opinion, for landscape use. It loves a shady spot. Same area that azaleas thrive in. Oak leaf hydrangeas will too, but love the fall color on that guy. And then up here by the patio area, we got to get in here and do a good bit of fertilizing because we've got some tea olives, a beautiful Sasanqua camellia that needs fertilizer so it can do its best job blooming here in the next few weeks. We're going to blow some mulch all up through here as well. So we've got 4 beds out here in the front yard. That's probably going to take about 20 yards, I'm going to say, to really mulch it nice and thick. And then it wouldn't hurt to come through and mulch hydrangea hill again just a little bit. I still got this damn washout that I've yet to cover up. I did get all my gutters fixed the other day, thank goodness, before the hurricane. But I think we'll come in here and just put a light coating. I've got the mulch pretty thick on this hill, but it wouldn't hurt to come back and just top it off. And I can't help but get sidetracked by that beautiful butterfly right there. Isn't he pretty? Loving on that butterfly bush right there. That is so cool just to watch him go around and feed on those little flowers. When we were up in the mountains last weekend, I bought this beautiful butterfly. It's what they did was it's 2 glass panes, and they took a bunch of deceased butterflies of all different sizes and colors and made them kind of loop back and forth in the frame. I paid way too much for it, but I saw it and I was like, you know what, this will look great in my office. The next time I'm up there and I actually get it hung on the wall, I'll show it to you guys. It's really a beautiful piece. Man, it feels so great today, y'all. The sky is the prettiest blue I've seen in a while. That hurricane came through and just washed everything clean, kind of hit the reset button since our irrigation was messed up. Everything was struggling a little bit, but just walking out today, it just feels really, really nice. And I'm gonna start exercising more because I'm getting a little winded right now just from this brief walk. But you know, we've been talking about stress a whole lot lately. And I think that exercise, I've got to get more exercise back into my daily routine because you build up stress during the day, and if you don't release, you know, those endorphins, and I don't know the scientific words for all the chemicals that build up, but I've been exercising a little bit, riding the bike, swimming in the pool, and I just feel so much better after you do something physical and release all that pent up anxiety and whatever the names of the chemicals are that you build up in your body. So that's gonna be one thing that I'm gonna do here more regular. I've been doing it a little bit, but I gotta get myself in better shape. My pants aren't fitting like they used to. You know, going through the divorce, I lost a ton of weight, and it wasn't the best way to lose it, but stress will do that to you. But anyway, pants are starting to not fit right again, so I've got to try to do a better job of making myself set aside a little bit of time, usually in the afternoon. That's just more convenient for me to get a little bit more aerobic exercise in. So this is actually kind of nice just walking around with you guys. And now we've got the bed that's closest to the house. We've got some Japanese maples in here, lots of different colocasia and alocasia, some canna lilies. Let's see, oh, a bunch of red buds. We've got that one that we won at the auction from Mr. Dennis Werner. We've got a Carolina Sweetheart variegated red bud right there.
this big old rising sun, she has done some growing this season. And just a few other little straggly things. I've got a ginkgo that's hanging on back there. Oh, we've got a vitex in that corner. My fig tree, which, you know what, I don't know if this one ever did produce any figs this year. That late frost seemed to zap most of the figs, but oh, well, take that back. We do have one fig right there. This one is Miss Figgy, I think. Or is that Miss Figgy over there? I gotta do a better job of tagging my plants. I think I'll be able to remember it when I plant it. Like, oh yeah, this is brown turkey, or this is Miss Figgy. I'll remember that. I don't. I even bought some little metal hanging tags. I've done pretty good on my Japanese maples with those, but let's see, we got Baptisia, some lamb's ear, and just a bunch of other sporadic planted things. But this one is gonna be a pretty sizable bed. We're gonna need to come in here and weed eat the heck out of it, get that grass as low as possible so that it can't find its way up through the mulch. But this one's gonna add a few more yards to the whole project. This is a pretty sizable bed. And the only negative to coming in and blowing all these beds and making them beautiful is the fact that I'm not through planting. But when am I ever gonna be through planting? But you remember this bed right here up on the hill? I wanted to come in and put a ton of perennials over the summer, and life just hasn't allowed it. I planted a few little things since we videoed up here last. Got a neat looking mangave right there, red hot poker, and then I did come and add a few of the, what's this one called? Color Guard yucca, and another mangave right up there on the hill. This is super sandy up here on this hilltop, so I tried to stick with some things in the, not cactus family, but you know, the plants that could tolerate being a little, well, actually a lot drier. It's this sand. I do have sprinklers, but even when they come on, the sand just, all of the water just perks right through and it's gone. We've got a couple other different grasses planted along this sandy hilltop. And y'all remember this? I never did come in and do what I wanted to do on it, but I did plant a few little things like this oxalis. And I forget the name of this guy, but I love that color. And he's doing pretty good up there. Got a beautiful variegated false holly. This is a Goshiki. Love the foliage on that guy. And he's liked it right there. He's got plenty of shade. And it's obviously super well drained. But this is gonna be a hell of a bed to come in and mulch. So this one's probably gonna take, I don't know, 10 yards in his own right. So we're up to probably 35, somewhere in there. I did come in and plant this really beautiful, this is a weeping deodar cedar called Feeling Blue. See how that new foliage has got a blue tinge to it? So he'll be real pretty one day. I get some size to him, just kind of drape over that cliff there. Then we've got a few little unwanted volunteer seedlings that we're gonna have to weed eat or either pull up. Yeah, gonna have to weed eat them because they're not coming up. And then we've got our Japanese plum use, Cephalotaxis harringtonia. This one is Duke's Garden. If you remember the video where we planted these three, they've done real well and seem to be surviving just fine. They're gonna give us a nice big green, not ground cover because they are a shrub, but just a nice evergreen presence right there in that little curve. Man, what a beautiful morning it is, guys. It's so peaceful down here in this little valley. A lot of hickory trees growing up through there. I can hear the squirrels munching on hickory nuts, and you kind of got to be careful because the other day I was down there, I was watching them. I didn't realize one was right above my head, and man, this hickory nut just goes straight down. It almost got me, so got to watch out for them throwing hickory nuts at you, but they're fun to just kind of watch. Now I'm embarrassed to even show y'all this bed. I'll tell you what happened here. This bed, it stays pretty wet. And it's crazy because we were just right around the curve there. a big sandy hill, but right here is more topsoil and it's just too shady for what I've planted. You can see that big canopy of oaks and pines. The plants that I chose down here, the camellias and Japanese maples, they just, it's a little bit too shady. We're gonna have to come in with some other deer resistant plants and see if we can't get them to survive up in here. But like, I even lost this Japanese maple, he's gone, unfortunately. And even this guy right here, this is an Arangiola. He's hanging on, but it needs more sunlight. It's just in too much shade. So one project, another project that I have is I need to come down through here and get these limbs cut off of the driveway, because when that blower truck does come in, you know, we don't want his mirrors getting knocked off and all that good stuff. So maybe at the same time, what I'm going to do is we've got a telescoping forklift that has a basket on the front, and I'm going to get in that and get my son. That's scary to even think about, but I'm going to get him to drive it while I'm up in the telescoping boom with a chainsaw and come down through here and remove some limbs. So maybe in doing so, we'll get back up in that real shady bed and see if we can't knock out just a few limbs to let some more sunlight come down to them. I think they'll do much better. And we're just gonna walk around to the side of the gate here, making sure we don't walk through any spider webs, which they are everywhere. Let's hop back up here. And this bed is the one that we mulched, a few months ago. Me and a friend of mine, Anderson, came in here, mulched this whole thing by hand, did a real good job, but the crabgrass, I was noticing just the other day, is trying to take over. These Japanese maples are doing much better if the deer would leave them alone, but look at where they've already chewed that. The deer have just been giving me hell. And we've got, this looks like, what's that paper thing you cut out to make snowflakes? I forget the name of it, but geez, look what the caterpillars have done to this flamethrower redbud. Holy cow. That's almost comical. I say almost because I really like that tree, but that's pretty funny. But anyway, we came in, hand mulched this, but look at this crabgrass. Holy crap, it grows so fast. This bed was looking absolutely beautiful the other day, and in just like a week's time, if you don't stay on these weeds, this is what happens. And I hate crabgrass, as does everybody, because not only does it come up from a center point, but then all these runners just root everywhere they touch the soil. So that's gonna be fun. But I'm real pleased with this bed so far, and all of my beds are just kind of evolving. You know, I just plant stuff as I have it, and I just stick it wherever just to see if it's gonna make it or not. We've got a good coating of pine straw that doesn't actually look bad, that the hurricane blew down for us. So we'll come in here, get this one weeded up, and go ahead and blow a layer of mulch in there too. So I'm gonna say we probably got about 50 yards of mulch that we're gonna need to blow when my buddy comes in with the truck. So it's gonna be a hell of a lot of work. Plus, we got to get all these beds as ready as possible before he shows up. But we got a long weekend coming up, so hopefully we can get out here and get our butts to work and get these things as prepared as possible. I'm not going to stress about it too much because we've still got a lot of other things going on with the other businesses. We got to get down to the nursery. We just got a bunch as usual, but I'm not gonna freak out about it. We're just gonna do the best that we can to get it ready. And I hope you guys will consider hitting that subscribe button down there. Hit the little notifications bell so it'll tell you when we put out new videos. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It always does me good just to walk around and talk to you guys. Thank you for all the comments that you've been leaving, and thanks for checking on us during the storm. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and hope everybody is doing okay in those areas that got hit a lot harder than us. But other than that, the more you know, the more you grow. We'll see you on the next video. Have a fantastic day, guys.